warmly welcome. Alright, so this is a Photoshop interface that we are going to be working with, and we are going to familiarize ourselves with the features of the Photoshop interface. Great. Now, first of all, let us create a working space before anything else. So to do that, you click on File and then you click on New. Great. So a dialog box is displayed. In the name text box, you specify a name. So let's call this demonstration. Good. Then here, let's use Photoshop or default Photoshop size. Great. Here are the measurements for the default Photoshop size. In centimeters, you have 16 centimeters for width and 11 centimeters for height. You can change that to pixels by clicking on this. Okay, you can change it to inches. You can change it to millimeters, points, pixels, and columns, but let's leave it in centimeters. Great. Now, when it comes to resolution, I want you to always make your resolution 300. So you choose 300. Okay, good. Now, color mode, you have bitmap, you have grayscale, you have RGB color, and so on. Let us choose RGB color. Great. And background is white. That is okay. So let's leave it as such. Now we click on OK to create our workspace. Now, when you create a workspace, go ahead and click on Window, point to Workspace, and click on Reset Essentials. Yes. It will arrange your workspace neatly for you. Great. Now, having finished with that, the first thing we are going to look at is our Tools panel. So you look towards the left corner, and then you see the Tools panel there. Yes, you have the Move tool. You have the rectangular marquee tool, you have the polygonal lasso tool, the magic wand tool, and so on and so forth. And you can see that when you point to any of the tools, the name is automatically displayed. So if you don't know the name of any of them, just point to it. It will tell you what its name is. Now, when you right click on any of the tools tool, it displays alternatives or alternative tools for you. Okay, you have a rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, and so on. So any of them that you right click on, it displays alternatives. Any of them. You see alternatives displayed for that particular tool. Yes, that is that. Apart from that, when you click on any of the tools up here below the menu bar, you have certain options displayed there. So we call this the options bar. So when you click on the Move tool, you see that the option bar changes. You click on the marquee tool, you see the options bar changes. The lasso tool, it changes. Any of them that you click on, you see that the options bar changes. And this contains, what do you call it, options that you can use to tweak, your object that you are working on. Great. So let us do something with the backgrounds. So let's say we want to change the background color. Now it's green. Here, this particular tool is for changing or setting your background and foreground color. So you can see the background color is already green. So let's go ahead and change it by clicking on it. Yes, so it displays a color picker dialog box. Let's say we want to use pink, so we click here. Great, and we go ahead and click, let's say here, and we choose OK. So our background color has been changed to pink. It has been changed to pink. Good. Now we have the menu badge. Okay, contains different commands that you can use to actually design your work in Photoshop. You have the file menu. When you click on it, you see different commands. You have the edit menu, you have the image menu, the layer menu, and so on and so forth. Okay, as we go along, you learn how some of these commands are used, and you learn how some of these tools are used. Great. The next thing we have to look at is the layers panel. The layers panel. Now the layers panel, what it does is that it actually displays small pictures, let's say in the form of icons, and those icons are what you use to now manipulate whatever object you add to your display workspace. So in this case, let's look at an example. For example, if we want to draw a rectangle, we click on the rectangle tool, then we hold down the mouse button, and then we drag to create a rectangle. So as soon as we do that, you see that it is represented on the layers panel. The rectangle is represented on the layers panel. Now we'll go ahead and rasterize the rectangle. When I say rasterize, that means that I want to make it possible for me to edit the rectangle, to manipulate it, do various things to it when the need arises. Because if you don't rasterize it, you cannot, in some cases, you can't edit it, you can't manipulate it the way you want. But once you rasterize it, you can do that. So let's go ahead and rasterize it by right clicking on it. Then on the pop-up menu, we choose rasterize layer. Good. So it has been rasterized. Let's say we want to change the color of the rectangle. Right now it is black, right? Let's say we want to change it to red. What do we do? So that brings us to another function under the layers panel, and that is called the FX function. It has so many options that you can use to design your object or your work. So under the FX function, you have drop shadow, out, tag, glow, pattern overlay, gradient overlay, color overlay, satin, stroke, and so on and so forth. Now I want to change the color, right? So we go ahead and click on color overlay. Great. So the layer style dialog box is displayed. We go ahead and click here. Then we can now choose the color. We said we wanted red, right? But over here red is selected by default, so we don't want it again. Let's choose blue. Okay, blue. Yes. Then here you can choose what hue or blue you want. Okay, let's say, let's pick this one. Then we click on OK. Here too we click on OK. Yes, and we have changed our rectangle color from black to blue. It's not only rectangle is not the only object you can add. Let's say we want to add text, so we come here to the tool panel and we click on the text tool. Then we come here and then we type our text there. You can type the text before you change the color, and you can also change the color before you type. So let's, here in this case, let's change the color before we type. The color here is what? Black. But we want to change it, so we click on it. Then let's choose pink. Great. Then let's pick this up in there, you know, hue. Great. Then okay. So now when we type, the text will appear as pink. So let us type Photoshop. Photoshop. Great. Having finished typing, we come and then we click on this. Very good. So you can see we have a rectangle layer here, and we have our text layer here too. When you are to work on any of the layers, you must make sure that you select it. For instance, if you want to work on the text layer, this one, if we want to move this one, for example, and we don't select it, we can't move it. So let's see, let's use it, a move tool to try to move the text layer and see if it will. You can see it's not moving. It's rather the rectangle layer or rectangle that is moving. Why? Because over here we have selected a rectangle. Okay, so if we want to move the text, so we click on the text layer, we click on the move layer, and then we can now move the text. Okay, and here you can see it's actually on top of the rectangle. If we want it to go under the rectangle, we simply move the text layer down below the rectangle, then it will go under it. Okay, good. So that is that. So far as the layers panel is also concerned. Now I believe that we've covered what the features we actually need to know. So let's say we want to save this file that or work that we have created. What do? We go ahead and then we click on the file menu, then we click on save as. Great. Sorry. Under save as, we have the file name, and here we can see demonstration is the file name because that's what we specified when we're creating the workspace. Okay, so we leave it as such. Now the format, the file format, what format do we want to use? Here you have Photoshop document format. Okay, it is good to always save your destiny in Photoshop document format because it allows you to be able to edit it later. It makes it possible for you to edit your file later. Okay, if you go ahead and you save it, for example, in picture format, and then you need to edit it later, there's no way you can edit that picture. But if you save it as a Photoshop document, you can always go back and then edit it at any point in time that the need arises. Okay, so let's say leave this in a Photoshop document that's selected by default. Then we come down here, then we make sure that we check ICC profile checkbox. Great. So once we have done this, we are good to go. We can go ahead and click on save to save our work, but we are not saving it. We are not saving it as such. Okay, and like I said, you can also save it as a picture. To save this as a picture, you click on the drop down arrow and then you select JPEG, that is into bracket JPG, JPEG, or JPE. Okay, so you select that, and that will save this particular file we have created as a picture. Okay, yes, then we make sure that ICC profile is also selected. Okay, then we come and then we click on save. Great. So here we make sure the quality is maximum, then we make sure baseline is selected, and then we click on OK to save our work. So basically that is it for this particular tutorial. We'll meet in the next tutorial, God willing. Yeah, bye.